Join me as I dive deep into the question, is God speaking to you right now? I'll be sharing my personal experiences and challenges to see if we can uncover the signs together. Many of us believe that God communicates with us in various ways. Some hear an inner voice, while others sense a gentle nudge or feeling. But have you ever stopped to think, is this really God speaking to me, or is it just my own mind at work? When we seek guidance or wisdom, it can be difficult to decipher whether the thoughts that come to us are truly from God or just our own minds racing. Often, we find ourselves questioning our own abilities to hear God's voice. We may think to ourselves, am I really hearing from God, or am I just wanting to hear what I want to hear? This self-doubt can lead to confusion and uncertainty. One of the biggest challenges is trusting our own instincts and discerning whether we're being led by God's Spirit or our own desires. We've all been there, seeking answers to life's big questions, and wondering if we're on the right path. It's easy to get caught up in our own thoughts and feelings, and to lose sight of what God is trying to communicate to us. But what if we're missing the signs? What if God is speaking to us in ways we're not even aware of? That's what we're going to explore today. People have shared with me their own experiences of how God communicates with them. Some have received messages through Scripture, where a particular verse or passage seems to jump out at them. Others have sensed God's presence in prayer, or received guidance through intuition or life experiences. I've heard stories of people who've had vivid dreams or visions that have led them to make significant changes in their lives. For instance, I know someone who was struggling to make a big decision, and she felt an overwhelming sense of peace when she finally made the choice to take a leap of faith. It was as if God was saying, I'm with you, and this is the path I want you to take. Another friend shared with me how he received a sense of clarity during a time of prayer, and it completely shifted his perspective on a situation. I've also heard stories of people who've experienced God's voice in the midst of adversity. They've felt a sense of comfort or peace in the midst of chaos, and it's given them the strength to keep going. One powerful story that comes to mind is of a woman who was going through a difficult time in her marriage. She felt like she was at a crossroads, and she didn't know which direction to take. But one day, as she was praying, she felt an overwhelming sense of love and peace. It was as if God was saying, I'm with you, and I'll get you through this. That moment was life-changing for her. She knew that God was speaking to her, and it gave her the courage to take the next step. It's stories like these that remind us that God is always speaking, always guiding us, and always with us. One of the most powerful moments I've experienced in my own life was when I felt God's presence in a way I'd never felt before. I was going through a difficult time, and I felt lost and alone. But one day, as I was praying, I felt a sense of peace and comfort that I'd never felt before. It was as if God was wrapping His arms around me, saying, I've got you, and I'll get you through this. It was a turning point in my journey, and it reminded me that God is always speaking, always guiding us, and always with us. Today, we've explored the ways in which God communicates with us, from Scripture to prayer, intuition, and life experiences. We've seen how God's voice can be heard in the midst of adversity, and how it can give us the strength to keep going. As we close, I want to encourage you to stay open to divine communication. Be willing to listen to that still, small voice within you, and to trust that God is speaking to you in ways you may not even be aware of. Share with me in the comments below your own experiences of how God has spoken to you, and don't forget to check out another video on spiritual awareness and discernment. Thanks for joining me on this journey of discovery.